Tech Talk Tuesday. It is time. Number 120. All right, let's sign up. Boys and girls, come on, let's get in here. Let's talk about Tech Talk. Hey, Ronnie. Hey, Chuck. Harry. Alan. Charlie Edmerson. Thank you for coming, Charlie. Hello, GB. Hey, Charlie. Greg. Harry. Good to see you guys' names, man. Come on, sign up. Let's roll in here. Hey, Cash. I love that. My mom and daddy didn't name me Cash. Nope. Po Boy. That's what they named me. Matt. Daryl. I didn't know we was Poe. I thought we was doing good. Chuck. Hey, Chuck. Reagan. Shane. Daryl. Hutchins. Val. Howdy. Good to see y'all. Ed. Mike. Let's flip this bad boy over. There we go. How y'all today? Let's see here if I can see your names for a minute. Marty. Gert. My man. Roger. Marty. Sam. Hey, Sam. Bryce Corley. I like that. Roger. It's good to see y'all, man. Thank y'all for signing up. Thank y'all for coming in. Tech Talk number, number 120. That's a new world record. Chad, Annamail, Lowry, Alex, Gert, teacher, Sam, yep. I learned a lot from all of you guys that have been with me for a long time. Hey, Dave, it's good to see you, man. Theodore, God bless you, man. Whew. Willie, I'm so thankful to see these names and think about the things we've done, all of us, over the years, and learn from each other, and we can share these ideas. Hey, Joe. Hey, Gary, Jerry, Lowry. It's good, man. Wow, Florence, South Carolina, man. I did 25 years there. Sounds like a prison. It wasn't. It was a good upbringing for me. We had a lot of cool stuff going on there. Hey, Corey, Doug. Yeah, man. I'm going to get into the meat of the subject here, David. I just thought I'd say hi to some names. Roger. Been a great journey, hasn't it, man? You are so right. Golly, I was just thinking Thanksgiving in a week, I think, or maybe Thursday after next. I don't even know when it is. When you're retired, every day is about the same. Hey, Jim. Hey, Valerie. I wanted to say Thanksgiving will be 42 years that Jackie and I have been in the star racing business. Even though we closed our shop and quit doing engine and machine work and stuff, we still are selling product and still developing product, and we're so thankful to be up here in Nashville area and working with some great shops and great people, plus you guys on here that we send products to and exchange ideas, and we're getting some great feedback. And this time of year is a really good time to be into camshafts and cylinder head work and understanding a little bit about what we see on the dyno. And yeah, thank you. This is my Pinot. I don't know how you say it. This is a Dixon, but it says on here, thank you for bringing that up. This says Pinot, but I think it's spelled Pinnot. I don't know. But anyway, kind of cool shirt. Silly Americans. Thanksgiving is in October. Oh, okay, Alan. That's for you, man. But look, I'm not the one standing on my head, and I hope your feet are stuck to the earth. Got you that time. And also your toilet flushes the wrong direction. Gary. Man, I know you're proud of your girl, Gary. Tim, I was proud of your girl. Those were probably 6 of the best looking laps I'd ever seen her make, man. Yeah, socks. I think these are marzipans or something. These are marsupials. I don't know. Oh, that's got a dog hair on there or something. But anyway, yeah, this is some kind of animal. I think it hangs from limbs. Like my friends in Australia, they hang from the earth. Yeah, that's my socks. You're right, Bryce. Bruno, Seth, good to see you guys' names. Okay, we're going to change over to the meat. I wanted to give a real quick rundown from me, 3,000 miles, 2,000 miles away, watching the Pomona finals. It was very interesting, and I saw some great people running for the championship. And then, of course, Karen Stouffer threw in a really great wrench into the works by running up front and going really fast. Hey, Brian, you saw it in person. That was cool. Yeah, Gary, I'm proud for her, too. Regardless of all the different teams and stuff along the way, I feel really close to you guys because we all kind of grew up together there, Gary and Karen and Brian and Ben. Hey, what was cool to see was, Angel to run so close to getting her 4th championship. And And we were very fortunate to race with her at the beginning of her career and win some championships and a bunch of races with her, and watch her on the eve of her career. I don't know, she may have a couple more, 3 more, I don't know how long. She seems like she can race forever. And then on Karen seems to just be getting good. And Steve Johnson, he's 60. He's just now starting to get good. And Matt is just beginning his career. I mean, if he was a dyno sheet, Matt's driving and riding abilities going uphill. But I want to give it. You guys know I pull for Steve. He had some mine and Mitch's Monster Head on there, and I wanted to tell you what was cool about that for me was him embracing new ideas and trying to change his routine for the better and coming up with some good ideas and good driving. And since I was trying to help him a little bit over the phone and over the internet, I don't think it's a real big secret, but I was proud of him because this was his first year as a championship contender. I think Steve raced for 20 or 30 years and he had 6 or 7 Wallies in his career. And this year he won 3 and he qualified number 1 a few times, and he won the most rounds he ever has in his career, and he made it all the way to the finals in contention. And I know he didn't finish it off as good as Matt did or as good as Angel did, but I'm very proud of him for knowing where he came from. And you know, let's say he raced for 30 years in NHRA, he had a different goal for each year. And if you go and interview him in the year, he would say, "I'm trying to win a championship." Well, not really. He was just trying to do better. He was trying to entertain sponsorship, and he was trying to find a way to pay his way and make a living out of it. And that's a very interesting deal because 2021 was really the first year that he could see his position versus the rest of the field. He moved up. I mean, I was proud of Steve. So anyway, he's getting ready for next year. He says he's getting new stuff so he can go faster. So I want to share that with you. Matt, kudos to you. You showed why you're a champion. You showed why you win a lot. Won on a lot of hole shots. So he was calm and cool, and some of the other people were excited. Also, I know, as well as he does, how bad the sun was shining on the Christmas tree. No, shining in your eyes in the left lane, late day. You're staring at the Christmas tree, and right in your vision is the sun, and the Christmas tree is sitting in the middle of it. So that's something to think about every year when you go to Pomona. I was very fortunate to get to race there so many years and win so many and lose so many races. But if you follow me or watch me on the internet, on Facebook and Instagram, you'll see that a lot of times I post big pictures and lots of pictures of the trophies and the Wallies. And I wanted to say out loud in front of you guys, this is not a self-promotion thing as much as I am thankful to the good Lord for the opportunities that He created for Jackie and I to go down that path, do everything wrong, do everything right, and right and wrong, and everything in between, helped us build a platform that we can share with you. And there were so many great people involved. I mean, if you think back to the champions, John Myers, the late great John Myers, Angel Sampay, and of course, so many different riders we've had, Reggie Showers, all of those guys made some really good impact. I'll tell you another really good one is Michael Ray did great for us, and Jim Bernard did great. And I'm not going to try and say everybody's name, but there was a lot of important jobs and important missions that those people made racing on our team. So it was good for us. And yes, it did make a great career for me, but I'm going to talk a little bit about engine stuff, and I'm going to talk about sponsorship for a minute. So I'm going to switch this camera over, and I want to just cover my opinion of the 4 different types of sponsorship, because everybody would be interested in getting a little bit of help with their racing or whatever they're trying to do. And this is something that I think that I learned that I want to share with you. All right, we're going to move this over to this direction. All right, I wrote down 4 different kinds of sponsorship that I've experienced in my career. The first one was purchase power that John Myers and I used when we were racing for championships. Jackie and I had a company at the time, I think we were called Star Cycle or Star Racing, maybe. It evolved over time. And we were buying a lot of products. We would buy pistons and crankshafts and chains and tires, and we were buying and selling $1 million worth of hot rod parts back in the early 90s a year. And we gave good service and good prices. And what we found out was the people that we were buying from, this is something that you can use in your career. If there's someone in your business or your daily work that you spend a lot of money with, they wouldn't mind helping you in a way that some folks hadn't thought of. This is really old ideas, and so I didn't invent them, but it's something that worked for us. We bought, let's just say, the piston company. We had bought $60,000 worth of pistons from this company in 1995. And I wrote them a really nice proposal and wrote on there that if they would give me 10% of what we bought that year in exchange for, no, they would give me 10% credit of what I bought that year, which would be equal $6,000. If they would give me credit on account for $6,000, I would run Wiseco decals on the motorcycle really big, and I would give them credit where credit is due and talk about it. Then there was I think there was 10 companies, and the 10 companies at 10% purchase power from each company, I would get credit on account. They didn't send me checks. They didn't send Jackie and I money, and they didn't even send us free product, but they gave us credit on account. And I think the late, great Dave Schultz did it with rent-a-cars and airplanes. He could fly places and get rent-a-cars. He had motels, and what he got was he would give them recognition, he would give them signage, and they would give him credit on account. That's my opinion of what happened. Then their second sponsor is the fun bragging rights guy, the guy that wants his name on the bike. He wants to come to the pits, and he wants to wear the shirt, and he wants to hang out and be on the team. And when you do good, you tell people about him, and he gives you money. And it's not necessarily called bragging rights, but it's really, I just want to be part of the team. I want my name on there. And when you go fast, I want to tell all my buddies that that's my bike. Whoever it is, that's my bike. I'm helping that guy. That guy's a good guy. I'm helping him. He's got my name on the bike, and he talks about me on commercials or TV or interviews. And then my third opinion, the sales increase, where we actually moved the needle. What we did for Team Winston was they were in huge competition with the Marlboro Man. And what our goal was as a team when we were Team Winston was to get the convenience store owner, the C-store owner, to put the Winston No Bull sign in front of the store instead of the Marlboro Man. Also, we would have everybody that owned a C-store or grocery store chain at the time, back in the 90s, was to come to the track. We would give them tours of the pits. We'd feed them in the suite, the Winston suite, and also we'd have golf tournaments, and we would just give them a really good time. Plus, the C-store owners as a group, 10, 20 of them, we could go to dinner, and they could intermingle with the race team and the heroes, and Gary Selzy and Angel and Alan Johnson and George Bryce and all those people that thought they were more than they were. I'm just playing. And then, of course, one of my favorites is the business to business, so I call it B2B. Give you an example, a tool company. A tool company was buying millions of dollars worth of knickknacks that had their logo on it, cup holders, koozies, keychains, key fobs, mouse pads, all kind of cool stuff. Signs, clocks, toolboxes, all kind of posters, and all kind of calendars. And there was a guy was racing a Top Fuel car, and his private company that he ran during the day while he was racing Top Fuel for fun, he was a company that was making all those knickknacks and all those marketing pieces for the tool company. The tool company wasn't using him, so he goes to the tool company and he says, "Hey, if you buy all your marketing products from me, I will put your tool company on my truck, my trailer, my car, and on TV and commercials and all the signage." And it didn't cost the tool company one more penny, but it funded the Top Fuel team. That's business to business. Another one is a company, one of the biggest battery charger companies in the world, had Top Fuel car, and his son was racing. And he went to one of his biggest customers, who was the United States Army. And they were buying lots of battery chargers. And he said, "Hey, you want to get battery chargers, a better deal? You want to get the Army to get signage? And also, if you sign up with NHRA, you can put," hey, Monica, how y'all doing? If you can put, you can get the Army to come in and have a display at the races, and you will be the only armed service branch that could have a display. And then you can actually have recruiters and contests and games. And they also sent the motorcycle rider and the Top Fuel drivers to schools to bring in possible recruits. And what happened was they sold a lot of battery chargers, and they got a lot of marketing, and nobody really spent any extra money. And that's just an opinion, in my mind, of what happened. So that's my 4 sponsorship deals. There's probably 5 or 6 different ones, but the purchase power, the bragging rights, sales increase, actually moving the needle for the company, and then business to business of existing work that's already being done. Just spend the money with the people that help you get where you want to go, and they'll help you get where you want to go. So use an open mind when you think of that kind of stuff. Now, I'm going to talk about the subject of the day is dyno-ing. I wrote down something to give me a subject to expand on. Air-fuel ratios, exhaust pipes, power bands, and canned tunes. Now, every day since I'm in the camshaft business now, I sell cams. Jackie and I sell cams every day. And it has introduced us to the situation that's going on out in the field of what's going on with companies with dynos, what's going on with people that sell you a cam with a can tune. And I think the only people that really have really good can tunes, and they're okay, but they're not the greatest, but I'd say a can tune, there ain't really any good ones, but probably the best ones. Or if you go to a Harley store and you get a stage 2 or a stage 3, you use their pipe, their air cleaner, their injectors, their heads, and you bolt it all together and you put their tuner, and you can download the map from Harley right into that motorcycle, and it runs pretty good. Is that the best it can be? No, but it should be the most centered tune for that combination. In other words, if you change the pipes, the tune ain't right. If you change the air cleaner, the tune ain't right. If you change the injectors, the tune is way wrong. So can tunes are very generic. That's like if you went to the grocery store and they said, "Can I help you?" You say, "I want some cookies." And you have to stand there and let them go pick out the cookies. And when they bring you back a box of cookies, you say, "Man, that's not really the kind of cookies I want." "Yeah, but they're cookies." "Okay, well, these are cookies. These canned tunes, if you want cookies, these are cookies. But if you want Oreos or you want vanilla wafers, you're going to have to tune these canned tunes to make them be exactly what you want them to be." That might be a kind of a dumb analogy. But here's a good example of the same camshaft and the same motorcycle. Because it's mine, I'm going to say a 30-30 cam that we sell for the Milwaukee 8s. If you put the right pipe, and when I say the right pipe, I'm sorry. When you put a pipe that works with this combination, and you put an air cleaner and injectors that work with this combination, you'll get a really nice power curve where the torque is really high, and as the RPM increases, the torque falls off, and the horsepower curve will look like it's almost like it's supercharged. It just goes up and up and up till you run out of RPM. Let's say the rev limiter's here. But what's really fun is when you're driving it to work, driving around town, this right here is what's really fun. This area right here, this area under the curve. Now, you take the same motorcycle and you take that really nice, long, big primaries, long 2-in-1 collector, and I don't know all of them, but I'm going to name a couple that are really good. The Thunderheader works good, the big one. The D&D Billet Cat, those are good. They make torque curves that look like this. Every now and then I've seen some of the Basanis that look pretty good, but I'm not in that line of work, so I don't do that. But this is what we see. We see a good cam, a good pipe, a good air cleaner, and a good set of injectors and a good tuner. I would not put a can tune in this, but that's where I would start, y'all. I would go to TTS and get a tune, or I'd go to Thunder Max, or I'd go to Power Vision, and they can give you something with these parts installed, and you put the cam in, and you're going to see somewhere. And when this torque is high, that means we're trapping more air at this RPM. Now, not just air, we're trapping more air and fuel. Now, if you'll go to this, let me get rid of that. If you go to this setup, this is the same bike, same everything, except it's got a shorty on it. It's got short primaries, it's got a short muffler, or it has true duals. This is excessively exaggerated, but this is what happens. Whereas the pipe that works great traps so much more air and fuel here that the horsepower curve actually, you'll gain here, you'll gain horsepower here, and you'll gain a ton of torque right here. And I'm talking about you can feel it. This could be 10 to 20 foot-pounds right in this RPM, which is only 3,000, 4,000, maybe 2,000, maybe 5,000, but it's right in this range. You could be 10 to 20 foot-pounds down and a lot of horsepower down. And the reason it is because when the pipe is right, you're going to have to add a bunch of fuel at this RPM here. And if you go over here and get this can tune that fits this motorcycle, and you put it in this bike with this shorty or true duals, it's going to be flooded. Your air-fuel ratio will look just like the torque curve. Torque curve looks like this. If you were to go down to the air fuels, you're going to see it's so fat, I'm exaggerating, and then it goes here. So when you get your bike tuned on the dyno, ask for the air-fuel ratios. Look at it. If it's not a nice line at around 13:1 across here, and it has this dip in the power output, this dip is because it's too fat here, and it's not making much power. It's losing low in power, it's losing torque, and it's losing efficiency. So a man could lean this out a bunch. Your gas mileage improves, which we don't care about that much, but it does matter. And you will give it less throttle to go faster. And also, it feels like it's got a big engine. So those are important. Can tunes are a good place to start. Can tunes, you got to have something to start with. Why not start with one that is advertised or broadcast by someone as a good piece to start with, and then you got to get it tuned. Now, this is the part that hurts. If you have a dyno and you install cams and you can download a map and you put a customer's bike on your dyno and you run it, the definition of this is it was dynoed. This is my opinion, y'all. Don't get mad at me. I'm giving you my opinion. This is dynoed. It's got cam installed. It's got a download map, and it's run, and they print out a result for you that looks like that's what it looks like. If it's dipped and they leave it dipped and send you on your way, they're going to have to blame it on something because it doesn't run as good as it could. It's blowing black smoke, or it runs soggy. If you floor it down low, it goes and it won't go, or you got to downshift it. That has not been tuned. That is dynoed. Tuned, people get these two terms confused. My motorcycle was dynoed. Yay. My motorcycle was tuned. Yay. Which one would I rather have? Well, I want mine tuned on a dyno. I want my motorcycle tuned on the dyno. I have a dyno. That means you own a dyno. You are a dyno owner. I tune motorcycles on a dyno. That means you are more than a dyno person. You can tune it. That means you can take a canned map and tune it on a dyno, and it makes a can tune installed and tuned on a dyno on your motorcycle, and tuned equals miles per gallon. Fuss at me, argue with me. Been doing it for my whole life. I see people buy cams, send me a dyno sheet, and I feel bad for them because it was installed, it was put on a dyno, a map was downloaded, and it was run, and it was dynoed, and they paid money for it, and it runs. If they install it, download a map, put it on the dyno, and they run it and tune it, then it is dyno tuned. Back when we were growing up, there was no such thing as my machine was dynoed. No, my machine was dyno tuned. That's what you were looking for. You're looking for a dyno tune, not dyno downloaded can maps. Not my motorcycle was dyno map downloaded. Okay, I ranted on that enough. I'm sorry. And if I made you mad, please forgive me because I'm just the messenger. the truth hurts sometimes. I want to tell you also, people are exclaiming about how high I rev Buck. Buck is a 126 with a bigger piston in it. It's got a 4.18 crank. That's stock and a T126. When you buy a 124 or an S&S big stroker crank for your Milwaukee 8 or for your twin cam, and you buy a S&S 124, it comes with a 4.625, which is a 4 5/8 stroke, and a 4 1/8 stroke in Buck. 4 1/8 stroke allows me to go 5,400 at 5,400 feet per second on the piston speed without tearing up parts at 8,000 RPM. That's how I can rev Buck so high. If you rev a 124 with this crank, 4 5/8, to get to 5,500 piston speed, that to be around 7,000 RPM. So it takes 900 to 1,000 more RPM to get to the same piston speed with these two strokes. That's how, if you have a long stroke crank, it makes bigger cubic inches, and big cubic inches give you torque. Short strokes give you little cubic inches and more RPM, so you can run it the same, more speed without hurting parts. And the reason that is because if you have a cylinder and your piston goes up and down for 4 inches, it doesn't have very far to go in 8,000 RPM. And if you have a 4 1/2 inch crank, it has to go further in the same amount of time, so the piston is going way faster. And matter of fact, 8,000 RPM would be too much piston speed for the wrist pin to stay in it and the rings to stay sealed. And this is going to be a puker of oil in through your breathers and create ring seal problems. All right, that was a pretty good little ramble, but Tech Talk 120. Very thankful for you guys tuning in and watching. I see we had a good turnout today, and I would love to hear your feedback. I'd love to hear your questions, your comments, because all that matters to me, because this Tech Talk 120 for me is all about the tuning. And I love to tune this machine, this Tech Talk machine right here, based on feedback. Just like if I put your motorcycle on the dyno and you ask me to go in and tune your engine to get better results. And that's what I need from you. I need feedback. I need results, your opinion, so that we can tune this machine to run better. And I'm so thankful for y'all. May God bless. Please check out our world record setting next week, Tuesday, be 121. Deep into the 3rd year of Tech Talk, every Tuesday at 6 o'clock. May God bless y'all. Good night.